Ladies and gentlemen, as usual, I'm economics teacher Eric Official. Now we are going to study economics. Economics. The lesson today is about consumer surplus. Consumer surplus. Now, by definition, consumer surplus is a difference between the price that the consumer is ready and willingness to pay and what he or she actually pays. Is a difference between price that the consumer is ready and willing to pay and what he or she actually pays. By definitions, in order to understand better what is it consumer surplus, we have typical example that help to understand better. If a consumer goes to the market to buy 1 kilogram of sugar in the market. 1 kilogram of sugar in the market. He is willing to pay 500 Rwandan francs per kilogram. When he reaches in the market, he finds that the price of sugar is 300. Find that price of sugar is 300 Rwandan francs. Then he pays it. The difference between what he pays and what is estimated to pay, those benefits he enjoys is what we call a surplus. By using formula to calculate a consumer surplus, consumer surplus is equal to estimated price minus market price. It is clear that in our example, estimated price is 500 Rwandan francs. 500 Rwandan francs. Then market price is 300 Rwandan francs. by find consumer surplus, we take estimated price minus market price, meaning that we take 500 minus 300, 300. Consumer surplus, we take 500, 100 francs, minus 300 as market price, 100 francs. The result is 200, 100 francs. Meaning that the consumer will enjoy 200 francs as a surplus. Then there is exercise that help us to understand better. By using a table, suppose that price per unit in Rwandan francs, quantity demanded, in kilogram. Suppose that when the consumer is estimated to buy only 1 unit, he estimated to pay 2,000 francs. Then he buys one unit. At the second unit, when consumer estimated to pay 1,800 francs, he buys 2 units. The third one, when consumer is estimated to pay 1,600 francs, he buys 3 units. The fourth, when consumer is estimated to pay 1,400 francs, he buys 4 units. The last one, when the consumer is estimated to pay 1,200 francs, he buys 5 units. By using 1,600 as a market price, calculate consumer surplus when 3 units are purchased. Here we use 2 ways. First way, you have to calculate consumer surplus for each unit. We do this. Consumer surplus is equal to estimated price minus market price. For each unit, first unit, estimated price is equal to 2,000 francs minus a market price is 1,600 francs. The result is equal to 400 francs. Meaning that when consumer is estimated to pay 200 for only 1 unit, then he reaches in the market price is 1,600. consumer will be enjoyed 400 at first unit. The second unit, the consumer is estimated to pay only 1,800 Rwandan francs, minus a market price is still 1,600 Rwandan francs. The result is 200 Rwandan francs. Meaning that when the consumer is consume the 2 units or the second one, he enjoyed 200. The third unit, consumer is estimated to pay only 1,600 Rwandan francs, minus a market price is 1,600 Rwandan francs. The result is 0 Rwandan francs. By finding when the consumer is estimated to buy the 3 units, meaning that the 3 units are already purchased, the consumer will enjoy 600 Rwandan francs, because we take the surplus from first unit, we add the surplus from the second unit, and then we add the surplus from the third unit. The total is a consumer surplus in these situations. Consumer surplus zavingana na 400 Rwandan francs plus 200 Rwandan francs plus 0 Rwandan francs equal to 600 Rwandan francs. Meaning that consumer surplus in this situation is equal to 600 Rwandan francs. Okay, there is other way for calculating a consumer surplus. This is the first way, by finding the consumer surplus for each unit. Then we have to take the addition of all estimated price minus the market price. It is the second way. Here, it is the first way. The second way for calculating a consumer surplus, we may add up all estimated price minus a market price times those units are purchased. Here we take 2,000 plus 1,800 plus 1,600 minus market price times unit that are purchased, 1,600 times 3 units, because 3 units are purchased. Here the result is 2,000 plus 1,800 plus 1,600 is equal to 5,400 Rwandan francs minus 1,600 times 3 is equal to 4,800 Rwandan francs. When we take 5,400 Rwandan francs minus 4,800 Rwandan francs is equal to 600 Rwandan francs. Meaning that consumer surplus is equal to 600 Rwandan francs. In this situation, the consumer will enjoy 600 Rwandan francs. This is the second way. Okay. We approach another way by using a demand curve, because the consumer here is considered as a demand. By using a demand curve, consumer surplus is an area of a triangle below a demand curve but above equilibrium price. Equilibrium price. By illustration, by vertical axis, on y-axis, we have price. By horizontal, in x-axis, we have quantity. Here, we have a supply curve, with a demand curve. Here it is a supply curve and demand curve. The point where the supply curve and demand curve meet is what we call equilibrium. The quantity here, it is equilibrium quantity. The price here, it is equilibrium price. This triangle above the price equilibrium, but below a demand curve, is what we call a consumer surplus. A consumer surplus. By using examples. Suppose that the consumer estimate to pay 200 Rwandan francs by buying 20 kilograms of rice. Here quantity of rice, price of rice. Here we have 2,000. Here we have as equilibrium price 800 Rwandan francs. Here we have 300. Here 20 kilogram or 20 units. Have a demand curve. Have a supply curve. Calculate using a graph above. A graph above. Calculate consumer surplus. Consumer surplus in this situation is equal to consumer surplus is equal to base times 8 divided by 2. To calculate consumer surplus here is as to calculate area of a triangle. Here First of all, we have to find the height. We have the maximum price and equilibrium price. The height is equal to maximum price minus equilibrium price. Equilibrium price. Here, height is equal to 2000 minus 800 is equal to 1200, 200 francs. Here, our consumer surplus is equal to base times height over 2. Base represent a quantity. Height represent a price, meaning that consumer surplus is equal to 20 units is a base times 1,200 francs over 2. 20 times 1,200 is equal to 24,100 francs over 2. The result is equal 12,100 francs. Meaning that the consumer surplus is equal to 12,100 francs. Meaning that when the consumer buys 20 kilograms of rice, when he pays 800, he gets the benefit of 12,000. Thanks for attending the lesson today. We shall continue next.